Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Brandon. We're here at Antiques in Charlottesville to see what we can find.
Hey, Ashley, I heard in colonial times people drank twice as much as we do today. Is that correct?
Absolutely. They drank all day long.
Wow, that's why how the revolution started?
Probably so.
I have noticed this one called syllabub glass. What does it mean?
Well, in the colonial times, syllabub was actually a drink.
Oh.
And so the form of this glass took on the name of the drink.
So how do I know whether a glass is blown glass or a cut glass?
Well, the best way to tell is to look at the bottom of a glass.
Okay.
And you can tell pretty much everything. This is a polished pontil. It was hand blown, and then the pontil on this one was polished instead of rough cut, like this glass.
I definitely feel.
And then this glass was cut. Wines tend to be, $100 or less.
Right.
The early 18th century glasses, which this form is in, it tends to be anywhere in the $100 to $200 range. So you can, upgrade as you progress.
So I noticed these pieces here, and what can you tell me about them?
These are French, and they are malachite. They're in the form of an obelisk, and they're decorative. It's something that you would put on a mantle or a table. Malachite is a semi-precious stone, and it's thin sheets of malachite that are attached to some marble underneath. And they're priced at $125 for the pair.
Is this one piece or two piece?
That's a one piece called a Gemmel bottle.
So I can pick it up. So Bruce, what did it use here?
Well, it's basically what we call an end of the day, when the workmen could make things for themselves. And this is two bottles joined together, and you could use it for anything. You keep a cork in the end and two different liquids that you wanted to put in, maybe alcoholic or oils or whatever.
So it's double enjoyment.
It's double enjoyment, and they were made in England, they were made here, South Jersey. They're a little bit hard to call from the area, being glass, but they're very collectible. And
so how were you dated?
Well, we dated roughly the first half of the 19th century, but we'd be sloppy on the dates, so we're giving it that 50-year leeway there.
So how much is it sell?
This is $325.
I'm kind of interested in these, and I really know nothing about jewelry, so I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about these pieces.
Certainly. These are American jewelry. I know from the way the catch is done that they're from the period 1890 to about 1910. They're gold. They're real gold, 14 karat and 10 karat, and they have real stones. Little sapphire there, sapphire and diamond, a ruby, and a peridot up here. And they're very reasonably priced. They're $125 and less.
Does that mean lizard?
It does mean lizard.
Right.
And what we have here is, I bought a series. These were pulled down instructionals from a German school, and it just shows the skeletal arrangements of animals. And I had snakes, frogs, fish, dogs, cats, and they're so graphic. They were rolled up like the maps, and you would pull down, and that's what you have here. This is so graphic. This is what all the Nest magazines are showing right now. Graphic. You get a lot of there's just a lot of punch. The way the dark background and the way it's in reverse.
Yeah, I would like to have it in
and
my
certainly
apartment.
affordable. Certainly affordable.
Great.
Because oil paintings aren't for everybody.
Well, these are special because they were done by Augustin Edouard, who was a Frenchman who went to England and made his fortune cutting silhouettes, which were the poor man's type of photography in that day and time. He also came to America and was here for about 10 years cutting prominent Americans' portraits, and they would have silhouettes, and they would have sometimes their whole families cut, and made big pictures of them sometimes.
So it'd almost be like a photograph today, so it's not something that you find lying around all the time. It sort of comes and goes.
This actually preceded photography, so if you were not maybe couldn't afford to have a portrait painted, that's why they called it like poor man's photography or poor man's portraiture. You would have your silhouette cut, and actually each one of them they were cut back to back. The paper, there would be two sheets of paper where it would be folded, so that they could keep a copy of your silhouette, so that if you wanted to have another one for a friend or for a later time, you could retrieve it. And the information about that is on the back of these. So this would have been in the book where they would have kept the spare, and it tells who this man is, where he's from, the date that it was cut, and who cut it.
I've left the horsehair.
This is called horsehair.
Right. And the muslin, just so you can see how they were done in the period. It is a period original slip
Great.
seat as well.
So this is our
In
real
yellow
horsehair?
pine. That's real horsehair.
Wow, that's cool. And what is this kind of form?
I said there are two schools of thought. They're known as either ribbon back or ladder back. So ladder back people generally think of the more primitive turn chairs, but this is a fine finished chair, dining chair from about 1780, 1785, made of mahogany, and it comes from eastern Maryland.
Maryland.
Right. These piercings are uninterrupted, and they slightly vary, which is seen around Annapolis, Maryland, and also Portsmouth, New Hampshire. But because of the secondary woods used, it's a southern chair.
Okay. So how much you ask for it?
Just under $450.
What's this table used for?
This is a table out of an old department store in Richmond, Virginia. It was used for merchandise, display type table. It's great for a potting bench. You can make a potting bench out of it, inside or out. Nice legs on it.
Yeah, so this you can do the gardening outside, or you can have a balcony and put things there, right?
Sure, you could bring it in. It would make a nice kitchen island. A small kitchen island would be great as well.
So, how old is it?
This is probably, the store was 1930s, so it's probably from the 30s, 40s era.
Great. You look very lean and fit well in the modern.
Well, and you put the stuff on it, keep it from falling off. Your merchandise, which is good for the potting, used for a potting table with your dirts and your pots and stuff.
So how much you sell for?
This is $325.
So what can you tell me about this piece?
First and most important is the type of print that it is. It's a chromolithograph, which was at the turn of the 19th century, mid-19th century, was a new form of printing. It's a little quicker and less expensive than stone lithography. So you were able to print and sell these at a lower cost to your customers. And it was very subtle coloring, and you were able to do these wonderful travel books showing places that you had been to as a souvenir, a remembrance. So it became a way for more people to own art.
How much would this piece be?
It retails for $125, which is a very inexpensive amount for a print of this age. It's done in 1860. So it's a way to get started and collecting art without having to put out a lot of money.
Yeah, I love the price on it. Thank you.
Hi, I noticed this is something look very like China, but it's something different. What is this?
It's called a shrimp dish. It's a Chinese porcelain Canton shrimp dish. And one of my favorite dealers who is not living now was named Tom Porsche. And anyone who really bought porcelains knew of him. And he told me this is one of the hardest pieces to find. And it has either a museum deacquisition number or an inventory number on the back.
Great. So actually people just put the shrimp on it?
It's what it was traditionally used for, shrimp.
So it's used
And it has these little eyes that kind of look like a shrimp.
Great. Yeah, and this is very durable, still used for?
You can put it in your dishwasher with impunity.
Well, I love that. So
That's the fun thing about small
how much you sell for?
Well, I had like $345 on it, but I could do $295.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.